Yo, welcome back to Herbistry420. I'm your host, 40. So today we are going to make Spanish rice. You can make it infused or not, and we will use this as a feeder for another recipe, huh? We're gonna make bean and cheese burritos. Oof, they're gonna be crazy, yo. Super custom, not very difficult, and sure to impress anybody you bring to the house, baby. Anyway, so I went to Aldi today, right? I had to get some rice. This is not a plug for them. It's just my local grocery, right? And on my phone, usually I write like, okay, my list, what I need to get. And if I have the list, hopefully I don't stray from it. Because you know, guys, we go in the grocery store, we're like squirrel, and we just pick random shit. My ex used to hate because I have like triplets of different spices because I forget that we have something. I'm like, oh, we need this, but I don't, right? Anyways, I'm telling you this story, right? Because I'm looking at my phone. I'm not looking at anything other than my phone. I'm looking at the phone. This really big girl, 2 or 3 of me, huh? Like a big chick. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, she's standing like right here and she's looking at stuff. I'm not looking at her. I got out of her way so she could pass, and I'm looking at my phone trying to figure out what should I go get next. When I look up from the phone, her dude, who is equal in size to her, massive dude, a few inches taller than me, and 3 times the size of me, is looking at me like, fuck you looking at, right? And I'm like, first off, homie, it's a misplaced aggression, right? Imagine having like 25 cents in your pocket and you're worried about getting robbed. Get the fuck out. Anyways, that's my day, yo. I'm like, I'm too high for this shit. Anyways, coming over here, let's get started, baby. All right, so we're closer. I've got a sauce pot here. You could use a frying pan if you wanted to, but I used this yesterday and it worked out pretty nice. So we're gonna rinse and repeat, baby. So you want to put about a tablespoon of olive oil in here, right? And so we're just going to eye it, something like that. Yeah, something like that, right? Next, about a tablespoon of butter. This butter's been sitting out for a little bit, so it has been softened. After you get that in there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this heat up. I just turned on the stove, right? And you want medium heat, more or less, huh? The stove's a bit hot, so maybe something here. We're gonna let this go ahead and go, and we are going to dump in roughly 1 onion, right? This is roughly 1 onion, roughly, I think it's 3/4 cup, maybe a cup, somewhere around there. Give or take, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna grab a small spoon because we have some pre-minced garlic. You could put garlic powder if you want. We're gonna use fresh stuff, and we'll use 1 teaspoon. So as this is heating up, the fact that we put the butter in there with the oil, the butter should not burn. Now you could use infused butter or infused oil in here, but the problem is this is gonna heat up. We're gonna bring it to a boil at some point with some chicken broth. So I think ideally, probably, you don't wanna put the infused butter in now or infused oil. You can wait till the rice is done, flip, flop, whatever. Throw in a little knob of infused butter, and that's how you would probably do it for the best end result, in my opinion, right? So we're actually making this rice so that I could use it in burritos throughout the week and other types of things, huh? So yeah, I'm not actually gonna well, I'll try it on the video, but it's being made for later, baby. I have a few different videos we're gonna use with this, huh? All right, so this is heating up. We're hearing a couple bubbles go on, perfect. And we are gonna put in our 1 cup of onions, huh? So, and really this was just 1 medium-sized onion. It could be a little less, it could be a little more, it's up to you, huh? And real quick, I brought my phone over here so we can add some top-down video instead of moving my setup. One of these days, I'll probably make a video, show you guys what my setup is. It's a pain to move the setup, so yeah. So I'm gonna use the cell phone this time to give you some top-down views. In fact, let's grab one. So as this is going, I'm gonna take a spatula, right, a silicone spatula. I'm gonna move everything around. This is gonna take 4 minutes, 5 minutes, right? And what we're trying to do is get these onions to be a little bit more translucent. We're not gonna brown them, we're just gonna get them translucent, and then we will go to the next step, right? So, actually, while this is going, we could go ahead and put in a teaspoon of garlic, right? So maybe this would be like 2 cloves of garlic or 1.5 cloves of garlic, something like that. Super easy to use something that's already pre-done, right? So it's funny, they don't sell this at very many groceries, but at the Asian grocery store here, they have this, and I'm hooked, yo. It's so much easier than cutting your own garlic, right? So we're gonna stir this up. We'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes when this stuff had become, or when the onions become a bit more translucent. All right, it's been going for about 4 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and grab the cell phone so we could have the next part in a close-up view. We've got 3 spices over here: cumin, oregano, and chili powder, right? We're gonna use all 3 of these spices. Let's go ahead and let's see how I could do this with doing it with my hand on the phone and on the spice, baby. So we're gonna put in roughly a teaspoon and a half of oregano, something like that, huh? Next, we'll grab the cumin. Same thing, about a teaspoon or so. Something like that. Doesn't want to come out, huh? All right, something like this. I'm sure this is super shaky in my hand, huh? My apologies. Anyways, and the last, let's add some chili powder. Now, how much you add, up to you. I'm gonna add like 1.5 to 2 teaspoons, and it should look like this, right? And I just realized that I had it on photo. Oh, all right, so let's do video now, huh? So we have like 1.5 teaspoons of oregano, 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of chili powder, and about 1 teaspoon of cumin, more or less, huh? So we want to make sure the top is off right now, and we're stirring, and that's okay, just to make sure some of the wetness is being evaporated. We're going to mix this up, right? Next, we're going to open the rice, and let's go ahead and clean off our spatula. Let's open up the rice, and hopefully we don't make too much of a mess. All right, now I'm going to transfer this rice from this bag into a Ziploc, right? And we are going to take, by the way, you should follow the directions of your rice. If your rice says to cook for 20 minutes, cook for 20 minutes. If it says to cook for 15 minutes, cook for 15 minutes, right? If it says to use 2-to-1 ratio, I'm gonna explain what we're gonna do. We're not gonna use water to cook this rice, huh? What we're going to do is we're going to use broth, vegetable broth, and we are going to use some tomato sauce, right? So we'll throw this away. This is 1 cup right here. We're gonna take 1 cup of rice, right? Something like that, which is 1 cup, right? We're gonna drop this in, right? Move this off. We're gonna go ahead and seal up the bag. Move it off to the side, baby. Put it right there. We're gonna go ahead and mix this up. And now what we're looking to do is toast this rice, right? So it's mixing up with the spices, the onions, the garlic, and it's getting a little toasted. Mind you, this rice is not cooked, right? So mixing it up, mixing it up. The smart thing is we probably should have cleaned the rice, but I'm a bit high and I forgot to do that. Now, if you clean the rice, get rid of all the water and then put it in here. You don't want to soak it. It's just to take off any extra starch, make sure that there's no bugs in there, but that's fine. We're cooking it, extra flavor, we'll be fine, right? Anyways, so let me go ahead and clean off the spatula, put this down, grab the phone, try to remember to turn the video on. Clearly, this would be better with a camera person, but the reality is I no longer have my camera person, you know? So there we go. And yeah, so we're gonna let this go for a couple minutes, stirring occasionally, especially because we're not using a bigger frying pan. If we're using a bigger frying pan, there would be more surface area, and the rice would toast up more evenly if it was spread out. However, again, not a big deal. By the way, diced tomatoes optional. The diced tomatoes we're going to put in towards the end, and you can go ahead and de-seed them, but I used a very firm or stiff tomato, so I think it's fine, right? And again, we're going to put that in at the end. So, right. Remember, you don't want to have the heat too high, but you don't want it too low. And this particular rice, it says it takes 20 minutes to cook. However, this is something that you could test along the way, right? So when we put the liquid in here, right, usually, like for example, this is probably a 2-to-1. The package doesn't say, but I think it's 2-to-1. So 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. However, what we're going to do is we're going to do like 60 or 70% vegetable stock and maybe 30% tomato sauce, right? What tomato sauce you use is up to you. You can use sofrito if you want. You could use just just a simple tomato sauce. This is a Napolitana, which has some basil and whatever, but it's because of what I had in the house, and it's open already, right? So I need to use it, baby. All right. So I'm actually not going to measure to put the broth in there. I'm just going to cover the rice, and then I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of the tomato sauce, right? All right, so this is where we are at currently, right? Toasting up the rice, etc. We're about to put in the vegetable stock. Let's go ahead and do that now. So again, I'm just covering the rice, huh? Oh, and we're throwing the cap in there. Whoops. I don't know why these kind of things. I'm not really klutzy. I don't get it. I think I just do it for the videos to keep it spicy, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and open up the tomato sauce. Let's grab a tablespoon or a large spoon, and we are going to put in 3 spoonfuls, right? 1, 2. So maybe this is only like 20% tomato sauce or 15%. Maybe we'll put 4, huh? All right. Let me go ahead and move this off to the side. Let me take this, the cell phone, and let's show you what it looks like currently, right? So we're gonna go ahead and put the top back on, maybe drop the heat just a little bit, right? You just want it simmering, and you're gonna want this for 20 minutes or so. Now, as this slowly evaporates and starts to cook down, right? Let me go ahead and stir this real quick, right? As this evaporates and starts to cook down, one of the things that might happen is you might run out of liquid before it's ready. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and add more vegetable stock if you need to. And you're gonna try it with a spoon. You're gonna go ahead and take some, see if the rice is done. If it's not done, then add some more vegetable stock and keep cooking until it is done. We're gonna go ahead and stop the video now. We'll come back when it's ready. I'll see you guys then. And again, we're gonna come back when it's almost ready because we're gonna dump the tomato in there, huh? All right, so it's been about 15 minutes. I've added vegetable stock twice. Keep in mind, this has a pouring spout on both sides, so a lot of stuff evaporates. If you're using a better pot, note to self, don't use this particular pot in the future for this, then you wouldn't have to add extra vegetable stock, or you'd have to add very minimally, right? So let's go ahead and taste it right now. Just double check, baby. Now definitely there's definitely liquid in here. I'm just tasting to see how close we are because I want to know if I should add the tomatoes, huh? We're getting there. It's not there yet. So I think we have a few more minutes. That's fine. I think we can add the tomatoes now. Let's go ahead and take the top off. Go ahead and dump these tomatoes in there. Drop some spoons. All right. So let's mix it up. And I think we're going to add a little bit more vegetable stock actually, because I think we need another 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes, huh? And that wasn't very much, maybe a quarter cup. I don't know exactly. I just dumped a little in there so it will go for, I don't want it to dry out, right? Because the rice needs a little bit. It's still a bit al dente. I mean, it's pretty close, huh? And probably because I'm going to use this in other dishes that I'll heat up, I could, potentially take it off since it will be reheated. And in the reheating process, it would probably finish the cook. But we're going to get it going for a little bit, and we'll be back in a couple minutes, baby. All right, so I think we're there. Let's go ahead and show you on the cell phone where we're at, and let's go ahead and give it a taste, baby. All right, so as we take our spatula, we can see that the water has evaporated. It's still moist, the rice itself. That's fine. What we can do is we can turn off the top, right? We're going to turn off the stove. We're going to put the top back on. We'll move it a little bit away, and it's going to steam in there. It's going to steam in there for maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but that's fine. It's really ready. I just want that extra moisture to go ahead and evaporate. It will. We're going to go ahead and give it a try. I've got a little taste dish right here. Because like I said, I'm going to use this for other recipes. So go ahead and take the top off. We'll go ahead and grab a scoop of the rice. We'll put it in here. Oof. I mean, you can make this as a dish, huh? Excuse me. So I'll take a picture after this steams a little bit, and I go ahead and I'll take a picture in the pot. for the thumbnail, but just to give this puppy a try, huh? Ooh. It's hot, yo! I mean, obviously. I should have blown on it more, but I thought it was looking pretty funny. Anyway, this is delicious, right? There's so much flavor. The one thing that you could do, I don't have any cilantro right now, and I didn't want to buy a bunch just to put a couple sprigs on top for the presentation, but ideally that would be pretty cool. When you lay this on a plate, put a couple of sprigs of cilantro, a couple leaves on there, pa pa pa, and it will look beautiful. It could go inside of a burrito. It could be the side of your dish. It is just really, really tasty. This is super easy to do, tastes great. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. You know the deal, baby. Until next time, pa, pa, pa. Hurrah!